Hello everyone, welcome to the first lesson of Jump Math 5. We are starting at the very beginning, of course. So PA 5-1, we're in Patterns in Algebra. First lesson of that. Our lesson is called Increasing and Decreasing Sequences. And in this lesson, we will extend number sequences by adding or subtracting the same number. So we will often encounter patterns and sequences of numbers in our daily lives. For example, if the sequence is 60, 50, 40, 30, then this sequence could represent the amount of money in a savings account each week. If you take $10 out each week, then you would decrease the number by $10 each week. Or it could be the water that remains in a leaky fish tank each hour. Or it could be the people who leave from a building, if people leave by tens. There's lots of other possibilities that it could be. So to start finding the sequences or the patterns that are in numbers, first we need to know the difference between the numbers. Remember that the difference refers to subtraction. So when we're doing subtraction, we want to take the larger number. So we're going to take 14 minus 11, and by now you should know that that will be 3. Okay, so the difference between 14 and 11 is 3, or we could say the difference between 11 and 14 is 3. This one, 29 minus 23, we're going to start with the bigger number to find the difference because we're not using negative numbers yet. That'll come in future grades. 29 minus 23 is 6. Here again, 76 minus 72 will be 4. And this one's a little bit trickier because we have to go across decades, we say. The other ones were all within decades. These ones were within the 20s for B. And these ones were within the 70s for C. These ones were in the teens for A. But this one goes across decades from 50s to 40s. So this one's a bit trickier. And I wrote the wrong number down, so we're going to fix that up. And I just erased all of it, which I didn't want to do, but that's okay. 52 minus 43. And we know that that will give us a difference of 9. So that's the first step when we want to find patterns and sequences. So here we have a sequence, and it's asking us what is the next number in the sequence. Here we have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we know we're just counting up. So the next number in the sequence, of course, would be a 6. Then we know we'd be 7 next, 8, and so on. Okay, this one here, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. Obviously, we're counting by 2s, so the next number in the sequence would be a 10. And then we've got 12, 14, and so on. So the sequence just means the next numbers that logically follow in that set of numbers that we have. Now, each member of a sequence is called a term. So looking at these ones here, 2 is the first term. 5 will be the second term. 8 is the third term. And 11 is the fourth term. Now, looking at these numbers, you might think immediately that there is not a pattern in them. But let's take a look and see what we can do here. If we take 5 minus 2, we know the difference would be 3. So putting it the other way, 2 plus 3 would give us 5. Let's see if that holds true for the rest of these. 5 plus 3, will that equal 8? Yes, it does. How about 8 plus 3? It equals 11. So now we can find what the last number, or the fifth term, is in this sequence. 11 plus 3 will be 14. All right, so that gives us the answer to this question down here. What is the next term in the sequence? The next term is 14. So you can see how we use those last steps to figure out the next term in the sequence. So here's an example of how we can use sequences in our daily life. If Eric wants to buy a basketball, he saves $8 during the first month and $3 in each month that follows. How much money will Eric have after 2 months and after 8 months? Well, let's look at this. We know already that 8 plus 3 is 11. So after 2 months, because this would represent the first month, this would represent the second month. Okay, so the second month, he will have $11. If we keep extending that sequence, let's see, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, adding 3 every time, 11 plus 3 will be 14. 3 more will be 17. 3 more will be 20. 3 more than that is 23. And 3 more is 26. 3 more is 29. So in the 8th month, he will have 29. Oops. He will have $29. We call this an increasing sequence because the numbers are going up as we go through the sequence. 8 is smaller than 11. 11 is smaller than 14. All our numbers are increasing, so it's an increasing sequence. There are a few exercises that we can do to help us practice what we've learned. We're going to find the difference between each term and the next term and write that difference in the circles. Then we'll extend the sequence. So looking at this one, between 4 and 7, well, we know 7 minus 4 will be 3. So looking at it the other way, 4 plus 3 equals 7. Let's see if that holds true between the second and third term. 7 plus 3 equals 10? Yes, it does. So we know that we did that one right. 10 plus 3 will be 13? Yes, it is. So we can be confident that the next one, the difference between them, will be a plus 3. 13 plus 3 will be 16. And then 16 plus 3 will be 19. Kind of a funny 9 there, but that's okay. 19. Looking at this second one, we jump from 2 in the first term to 8 in the second term. Well, taking it the other way, 8 minus 2 will be 6. So we know we're going to add 6 this time, and we have to put the addition question or addition sign in there because it might not always be addition. We're just dealing with increasing sequences right now, but we could have decreasing sequences too, so you have to make sure that sign is in there. Let's see, 8 to 14. Is there a difference of 6 between there? Yes, there is. So 8 plus 6 is 14. From 14 to 20, between the third and fourth term, there's a difference of 6 again. So we're going to add 6. 20 plus 6 will be 26. And 26 plus 6 will be 32. Okay, so there's our increasing sequences for these ones. So here's an activity that we're going to do. We're going to create and extend a sequence. So let's see, if we start with our first term as a 3. Next term will be 6. The next term will be 9. Next term will be 12. And so on. So when it asks you to create and extend, here we've created a sequence on this side. And this is where we will extend the sequence over here. All right. So instead of putting the little circles here, because they're kind of hard to write in, I'll just draw the numbers up here. So we know from 3 to 6, we've got 3 plus 3 will give us 6. 6 plus 3 will give us 9. 9 plus 3 will give us 12. So then we can extend it by adding 3 to the fourth term to get 15. 15 plus 3 will give us 18 for our last term here. So we've looked at increasing sequences. Now we're going to look at decreasing sequences. So now, like I said before, here we have a subtraction in the circle above. So 13 minus 2 we know is 11. 12 minus 6, 6. 11 minus 5 is 6. And 24 minus 8 16. Okay, so here we have more decreasing sequences. And we're going to extend the sequence beyond. So let's start by seeing what the gap is up here, and then we can figure out how to extend the sequence. So when we go from 21, the first term, to 19, the second term, we subtract 2 to get from the first term to the second term. Does that hold true for the second to the third term? Yes, it does. So our gap is obviously minus 2. If it holds true for the first 4 terms, then we know it's going to hold true for all the terms. So we can fill this one in up here and say 15 minus 2 will be 13. And then 13 minus 2 will be 11. And there's our completed sequence. In the second one here, our first term is 34, second term is 31. Again, it's a decreasing sequence, so we're going to subtract. This time it's a gap of 3. 31 minus 3 will be 28. So since we're repeating the same gap, we know that this one will be minus 3 as well. So our next term will be 25. And 25 minus 3 will be 22. So sometimes when you look at the numbers right off the bat, it might not look like they actually create a sequence or a pattern. But then when you actually figure out the gap in between them, you'll see that it is a pattern. So now putting this decreasing sequence into a problem-solving situation, let's read through this. Zara gets a monthly allowance of $20. After the first week, she has $16 left. After the second week, she has $12. And after the third week, she has $8. If this pattern continues, how much money will she have after the fourth week? Okay. So we know that this is monthly, so we're just starting with $20. We're not going to bother with the dollar sign right now because we're more concerned with just the numbers. Okay, but remember in the end, we need to put the dollar sign in because it asks how much money. All right, so our first term will be 20 for the first week. After the first week, she has $16. After the second week, she has 12. After the third week, she has 8. How much will she have after the fourth week? So let's see what our gap is here. From 20 to 16, we're subtracting 4. 16 to 12, subtracting 4 again. 12 to 8, we're subtracting 4 again. So we can know from 8 to the last, we're also going to subtract 4. So 8 minus 4 will leave her with $4 after the 4th week. So to answer this question, if the pattern continues, how much money will she have after the 4th week? She will have $4. And here's one more problem to help us see how sequences and patterns fit into daily lives. Tina's puppy is 8 centimeters tall in the first month. It grows 3 centimeters in each month that follows. How tall is Tina's puppy after 2 months? So if we're talking about something that's growing, we know that that's going to be an increasing sequence. The numbers will get bigger. So we're going to start with 8 as our first term. And it doesn't tell us what the second term is, but it tells us the increase of 3 centimeters in each month that follows. So we've got our gap here is plus 3. So 8 plus 3 is 11. The next month, it'll grow 3 centimeters again. So 11 plus 3 will be 14. 14 plus 3 will be 17. 17 plus 3 will be 20. So here's the first month. So the second month, it will be 11. I apologize for my pen. I'm not sure why it's not working right today. Something's going wrong with it. But here it asks us how tall it is after 8 months. So let's see how many terms we have here. First, second, third, fourth, fifth term. So we'll need 8 more terms. So let's write the blanks in there so we know how far we have to go. And we'll double check. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth term. There we go. So 20 plus 3 more will be 23. 23 plus 3 more will be 26. Again, my pen just doesn't want to work. I'm not sure why. And 26 plus 3 more will be 29. So after 8 months, her puppy will be 29 centimeters. There we go. All right, now you should be able to work in your practice book, academic practice book, 5.1, pages 1 to 3. It's the New Canadian Edition. That's just the latest edition that they have. If you have any questions or if you're not sure about something, please be sure to message me and let me know.